All right, folks, it is Friday, June 13th, 2025. I just realized that it's a Friday the 13th, and we're coming up on some critical dates right here on our timeline. Events taking place right now. This is breaking news. Iran has responded to Israel. We have ballistic missiles touching down in Tel Aviv, now confirming that these just struck military headquarters installations for the IDF within Tel Aviv. And so for the first time, really, since this attack took place last night, Iran is responding with ballistic missiles striking at the heart of Israel in Tel Aviv, military headquarters being hit, and we have multiple high-rises on fire right now in Tel Aviv. We continue to pray for peace, understanding that we want to put humanity and people first. Before we talk about these markets, before we get into what the next play is going to be, yes, and really, honestly, our community's already so well prepared for what's happening right now. From an emotional, spiritual, and financial standpoint, we've been preparing for this moment. We knew that it was a tinderbox just waiting to be lit up, and sure enough, just 2 days before we celebrate Flag Day, President Trump's birthday, we see Israel hit Iran. Unprecedented attack. We haven't seen anything like this in quite some time as far as how strategic it was in knocking out the top brass and military generals and top nuclear scientists of Iran. One of the most successful strikes we've ever seen, probably in military history. Iran finally responding. Okay. I don't know what the local time is right now. Clearly it's nighttime. You can see by the live feeds and the shots that we're getting back right now, it's nighttime. But Iran hitting Tel Aviv as we speak. I'm going to show some images here. As I title this episode here today, I wanted to come on here for a quick market update, quick update on the current events. Iran responds and XRP is still holding up $2. This market is still holding up really well, all things considered. So we'll get to that after we get through these current events, guys. This is breaking news. Check it out. Iranian missiles impact downtown Tel Aviv, Israel. Massive smoke plumes, dozens more missiles on the way. And in fact, just about 5 minutes ago, before I fired up the live show, they confirmed that a second wave was on the way. These images, incredible. Ballistic missiles touching down in the capital, striking military headquarters. Direct hit on IDF HQ in Tel Aviv. This is the Kira, Israel's military headquarters in Tel Aviv, and this is an ongoing Iranian missile barrage taking place as we speak. Now, I am watching these markets live, and like I said, everything's holding up pretty well so far. We'll check on that in 1 second. High-rise buildings on fire in downtown Tel Aviv. Israel as more Iranian missiles are on the way. Air raid sirens once again sounding. At least 2 missiles have already made impact. Now, we'll talk about that, the situation back home here in 1 second. Here is the update. It's crazy. I'm watching Bitcoin, this 15-minute candle, it's actually printing a green candle right here. I'm way zoomed in on the Bitcoin chart, 15-minute candle, and we just had a pullback down to 1046, but just here within the last 10 minutes, this thing shot back up above 105,000. The market actually moving up right now for Bitcoin. For XRP, it's the same thing, back up to 213 after backtesting 211. Now, the low that came in for XRP was 208. I've been telling you guys about front running this move towards $2. That's why I titled the episode here, XRP holds $2. The good news for our markets is with all this happening, we already had ran back up to 110,000 for Bitcoin, and XRP had already ran back up above 230. And then this started to hit. And so at least we had a pretty solid starting point when this war started to escalate and really break out. But right now we're watching, on this 15-minute candle right here, XRP's pop above 213. The market actually moving up as we speak. Once again, I'm way zoomed in, 213. We are way down from the $2.30 level that we were at not too long ago, right? So a nice little pullback here for XRP and another opportunity for our community who's still trying to stack XRP to be able to get in right above $2. Everybody's trying to time this bottom. And the difficult part here in this situation is you just don't know how long this war could continue, right? This could be over in a couple days. It could be another 60-day war. We really don't know. So far, no nukes. Hopefully we keep it that way. But nuclear facilities were struck in Iran. And so the sad part is we go to prevent a nuclear war, but we create a nuclear event in the process of preventing a nuclear war. There is no winners in this situation. And so the impact of this is going to be felt for some time, but the average market participant has been absolutely desensitized to everything. I joke about it, how we're going to buy the alien dip and all this crap. People really are. I mean, an asteroid could hit Earth and you guys would still be buying the dip, right? We have become so desensitized and numb to all of these events, and we've been so programmed. And a lot of you guys, if you've done it the right way, is you've already automated the process of buying the dip. You've already automated the process, setting your limit orders. And, you know, I just put out this message to my Discord group before hopping on this live call. I said, guys, all we can do at this point is set your limit orders right above critical levels of support that are below us and let the orders be filled, right? If you have extra capital, you know, of course, you could just slide in right now and market buy some XRP at 213, sure. Maybe, you know, you split it up. You buy a little bit right now, and then you place a little bit down below right above $2, just like I'm doing. I have my XRP long placed at 203 with a limit order. So if we go back down to $2, my order gets filled, I'm long XRP again. But I have 2/3 of my trading account still on the sidelines in cash, and I'm 2/3 of my Coinbase futures trading account, right? The money that I'm playing with on the Coinbase futures, I still will have 2/3 of that on the sidelines cash to buy the dip 2 more times. So I have an order play, like I'm chunking this up into thirds basically. I got an order at 203. If we go down there, that gets filled. If we go down lower, I'll probably have an order placed right above $1.90. You know, $1.86 is probably a level of support. Without looking at the charts and pulling it up, it's probably within that range. And then I have still another chunk of money that I'll have on the sidelines too if we go down even lower. So I won't be liquidated, and I will just lower my entries if we do get that type of pullback. In similar fashion, for those of you guys that are just buying spot positions in these cryptos, that's all you can do. Set your limit orders above critical levels of support. Don't need any special TA degree to find those critical levels of support. And let the orders be filled. Right? Now, on the other side of this thing, and I explained this last night in the live show, this is going to be a V-shaped recovery just like March of 2020. Now, is it going to be a war that lasts 30 to 60 days? Is it going to be over in a couple of days? That's the big what if. And that's why it's so hard to time the bottom perfectly. You know, this could be settled up in a week. President Trump said that, you know, this is basically bringing Iran back to the table. And so this could be over very quickly, or it could be prolonged, 30 to 60 days. I don't see it lasting much longer. But, you know, when the Ukraine-Russia conflict started, did we think that it was going to last as long as it is still ongoing? Right, from February 2022 to here we are today, it's still taking place. You know, that could be the situation. But as far as a market impact dynamic, everybody's programmed to buy the dips. We are desensitized. Most people understand that, you know, we're living through some chaotic times. Some people think we're living through the end times. And for better or for worse, we have been programmed to buy these opportunities. Now, I'm just checking your comments real quick. If you guys haven't already, please make sure you like the stream. Help us out by sharing it out far and wide. Just wanted to come on here for a quick update as we watch these events unfold. Here's what's happening back home in the United States of America. We had a kangaroo court judge who said that Gavin Newsom would take control back of the National Guard. but then an appeals court hit it while I was on live stream last night. I had reported it in the first bit of my live show, and then an hour and a half later, the appeals court already ruled against that judge that the National Guard would be returned to President Trump. But the National Guard has been returned back to President Trump's control. Meanwhile, several hundred Marines are now on the ground in Los Angeles following their training per Task Force 51 commander. Hundreds more are still on the way. Massive military presence on the streets of America for Flag Day celebrations and in California. And we're seeing states like Texas front run the activated agents in the real activity by deploying National Guard on the streets already. Many cities in a very interesting situation, to put it lightly, over this weekend. This weekend in particular, it's Flag Day. It's President Trump's birthday tomorrow. That's what this No Kings protest is about. And we're already hearing reports about some chaos and some activity. Now, I hope that that's the worst of it, is some of these kiddos playing around, playing dress up and playing tough and throwing a rock. I pray, I'm laughing, but I pray that that's the worst of it. Because we've been talking about the agents within this country, agents of chaos, that in coordination with, an agenda, can move pretty quickly to destabilize this country, bringing the war back home, just as we see in these falling empires time after time again, caught in external chaos, wars overseas, also fighting internal strife and chaos back home. Meanwhile, the craziest thing, and you almost feel guilty because, the bombs are dropping right now, and you almost feel guilty for feeling so giddy and almost excited and bullish on this cryptocurrency space in our portfolios right now. I almost feel guilty. But like I said, people over profit, profit over politics. We're praying for peace. But God forbid we're not prepared with our portfolios for what's about to take place. The stablecoin legislation is set to get passed next Tuesday, Genius Act. That's going to unlock $2 trillion of demand for US dollars. How else do you drive demand to the US dollar? You let bombs drop, and you let the masses flee back to safety to the US dollar and the US bond market. With over $7 trillion of debt that needs to be refinanced this year. That's just the bonds. That's not real estate, commercial debt. That's not the auto delinquencies at their highest level since the great financial crisis. That's not all of the other bad statistics that I could list off, but I'm not going to bore you and depress you with those stats. There is no easy way out of this situation. Scott Bessent says that they won't default. Well, the only other option then is to inflate the currency to pay back these liabilities and to cover our government's expenses. Raising taxes isn't an option. You already have a Main Street economy that's probably in a recession. So raising the tax on them is not an option. You're going to start to lose that tax base, which means that they have to print. Printing with the big, beautiful bill on top of the stablecoin legislation, on top of the market structure, on top of the ETFs for XRP going live, on top of the SEC versus Ripple case coming to a conclusion, and we just got the filing yesterday from the SEC and Ripple requesting Judge Torres to allow their deal to go through, where Ripple will pay $50 million and the injunction will be lifted. Now it's in Judge Torres' hands. But these catalysts are all right here before us, which is why so many of us in the XRP community, it's not just our XRP investments that we're bullish and giddy about right now. It's everything else too. Our silver is back at levels that it hasn't been at in 13 years. $37 per ounce is what we're on the doorstep of. Gold, 3,400, almost pushing up towards 3,500. All-time high. And despite all this happening, the S&P 500, for crying out loud, is only 2% off its all-time high. I said the market's desensitized to this. It could get worse. Absolutely. We could still see lows from where we're at right now. It's not going to last long. And I'll never forget, I got to share this story with you guys because I fell victim to this, being guilty. I didn't buy XRP at 10 cents when it went down to 10 cents in March of 2020 because I wanted to buy it at 5 cents. And I remember, like it was yesterday, pulling out my calculator like a doofus moron. And I was running through the numbers, what I would be able to acquire if XRP went down to 5 cents. And it stopped me from taking action and buying any XRP at 11 cents. Now, of course, I still bought XRP under 15 cents. I think the lowest I ever got was 12 or 13. So I got close to the bottom, but like it was yesterday. My own greed combined with how much fear was also in the market. We all thought the world was going to end. And then I'm running through the math. Oh my gosh, I could buy this much XRP now, but if it goes down to 5 cents, I'll be able to buy so much more. Never came. Just like, I don't want to say that we're not going to go below $2, but there's a massive buy wall. You could go to the order books right now and look for yourself. You'll see a massive buy wall right above $2, right below $2. Any dip that we get, any crash that we get below $2 is not going to last long. And there's only going to be so much XRP available for sale, which is another part of it. Yeah, we might go there. You might have your order placed, but is your order going to get filled? And so don't do what I did and get too greedy and try to time the bottom of the market perfectly. Ladder in. And when it comes time to exit, I ladder out. That's what I do now. I'm not going to give you financial advice and tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you that now's the time to buy or not to buy. I'm just going to tell you what I'm doing, which is I have my order set at 203 and I still have more capital, dry powder, ready to deploy if we go lower. Okay? A couple more things here on crypto. And then I do want to go to some Q&A while we have time. Crypto market volatility is rising, but smart money is clustering around XRP and Solana as the on-chain ecosystem booms. This is from CoinDesk. Once again, we went from being ignored, or if they did cover XRP, it was FUD and misinformation, to now CoinDesk came and reported live from Apex. And now you see them talking about how our on-chain ecosystem's booming. See, it's not just me trying to talk about a meme token and pump a little token up. That's not what it's about at all, actually. I told you guys what this is about for me. It's about onboarding millions of more people to the XRP Ledger ecosystem. And the process has started. It's only going to accelerate from here. From institutions, and now we have a list. Let me pull this up. It's a list of over, I think, 8 companies that have filed for, not filed, but basically they've proclaimed that they're going to make XRP corporate treasuries. Where is it at right here? Eight companies with XRP treasury plans. Trident Capital with 500 million. Weebus International 300 million. Vivo Power 121 million. Wellgistics 50 million. Hyperscale 10 million. Worksport 5 million. BC Bud 250,000. Digital Com 225,000. We're approaching over $1 billion of XRP corporate treasury commits. Walmart and Amazon are exploring launching their own stablecoins. Everybody's coming to join this party. Speaking of the Joey wallet, we're excited to announce that Joey Wallet is now available on both the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. Why Joey? No unusual fees, seamless user experience, near instant onboarding, And now we have MoonPay as an on-ramp, and soon you'll be able to off-ramp through MoonPay as well. So it's now available. You can go to their website right here. I had it linked up in the description of last night's live show. If you search it on the App Store on Apple, you have to like scroll all the way down to the bottom to find it, but it is now live. Here's the other big one coming up. Like I said, so many key dates and events right around our corner, whether it be the Fed meeting, which is set to take place next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, 17th and 18th, interest rate decision. And then next month in July, and we have some big ETF decisions coming up here in June as well too for XRP. Next month, though, we get the FedWire Fund Service, which will be migrating to ISO 222, July 14th. Are you ready? FedWire, updating to ISO 222. Okay. Now, the other big one here, I saw this out of Japan. You got to translate this Japanese to English. This is Tat's ecosystem growth at Ripple. He says, we are looking for the next generation of XRP Ledger leaders in Japan. If you think you are the right person, please contact us. This support is part of Ripple's ecosystem support program with a total of 1 billion XRP. Doubling down on Japan. So that's where we're at right now, guys. Let me take the market still 213 for XRP, 105, 265 for Bitcoin. Market's holding up well and not really reacting too much to the Iranian response, striking Tel Aviv here just now. Israel keeps on putting out a bunch of stuff, and I don't trust it, but here's what they're now saying. This is breaking. The United States forces are now participating in defeating the Iranian attack on Israel, Israeli officials say. So, we'll watch it. Uh-oh. Eyewitnesses report that Iran has struck a nuclear facility in Dimona, Israel. This is not good. Dow loses 900 points on the day. Where are we at? So crypto was pumping, and that's why I thought, okay, maybe the market's not reacting. I guess I didn't slide over to check stocks. Okay, yeah, stocks have dropped. Let me go to the daily chart though on the stocks. I don't like looking at the. Yeah, it's a pretty good red day for the Dow. Now, I said that we probably get circuit breakers today. We still have a couple hours left of trading before the market closes up. Actually, I think, what, about an hour and 15 minutes? Okay, that's right. So we only have 45 minutes. I always forget. You got the stock market, you got the futures market, and then you got crypto, which runs how it should be, 24/7, 365. We don't shut down for nothing. Unless the internet gets killed, we keep moving our ledger forward. So we got 45 minutes to the market close. We're going to have to watch here closely. Let's go rapid fire Q&A. How's everybody doing today? You guys buying the dip? You guys praying out there? What are we doing? You guys in the cities, United States? Better keep that head on a swivel. Black Monday potential, yeah. I lost $500 on XRP yesterday. It's all relative, but I can promise you that many of us have lost a lot more than that in the pullback, but you don't lose unless you sell. So, no, you didn't lose unless you sold. Thank you for all you do. Antoine, I appreciate that, my friend. It's that Friday the 13th vibe, bro. Yeah. Yeah. Leanne says, bought more ZBCN yesterday during that quick dip. There you go. Yeah, I still think that one's going to go back above a cent. Half a penny was already hit. We went up to 3/4 of a penny. My top side target on that one's 1 penny. And I still think it hits for ZBEC. Yeah. Zach, I see the spider is gone. Yeah. Zach, I had a super chat. Did you miss it? I did miss it. Let me scroll back up and find it. Triggerist, thank you for the $6.99. Heart goes out. God bless. Stay safe. Please deep dive Ripple bids launching on the XRP ledger. Ripple bids. Is that a ticker or is that like a platform? Ripple bids. Is that a ticker or a platform there? I appreciate the super chat. Thank you. Watch silver. It's about to go parabolic. And just knowing that we have the ability to transact at any time, right? If the internet's on, we can use our crypto. If the lights are out, we can use our precious metals, along with other precious metals and items and essentials that we always keep handy, right? Yeah. Ripple bids is all over my TikTok. Is that a ticker? It's a platform. That's interesting. I'll have to check it out. Can you explain the proceedings with the Ripple case? Yeah, Sander. So yesterday, the SEC and Ripple filed their amended settlement agreement, and they're asking the court to accept, Judge Torres to accept a fine of $50 million. Ripple will pay a fine of $50 million, and then the injunction will be lifted, and they'll be able to go about their business. Now, Judge Torres should respond in the next 2 weeks. Okay? Ripple bids equals blockchain of Amazon, ticker is XRPB. Okay, right away that gives me not good vibes. I'll just say that. I'll just say that right away. Like, yeah. Okay. Well, I was gonna come down right now. Huh, buddy? Okay. Hello. Hello. Can you say XRP to the moon?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
XRP in the moon.
Good. Can you do a little bit louder?
XRP in the moon.
Let's go. Good job. Your turn, Wes. Say hello. They can't really see it. They just see his little eyes.
Hello.
Okay, this just needs to be.
Okay, I'm coming right now.
That's
Yeah. You say da. Should we continue the show with the little one? Just stand up, buddy. Huh?
yeah.
Oh yeah. Hello. All right, guys. I was waiting for the family to get home. I was just trying to get a quick live in here to cover current events in the markets. We'll be back here. I'm gonna go hang out with the family here for a brief moment, but we'll be back in the office here for more coverage of these markets. So stay tuned for more. I appreciate your guys' support, and I will see you guys here later today. All right. All right. God bless you all. Say bye, Wes. Bye-bye. Good job. Bye-bye. Good one. Say smash the thumbs up for us. All right. We're out of here. We'll see you guys. Thank you.